America's engine is stalling, paychecks frozen, airports jammed, food aid paused. The U.S. now stands inches away from its longest government shutdown in history. Who's to blame? And who's paying the price? The federal government shutdown continues into its 34th day. Approaching the 35-day record from 2018-19, the shutdown was triggered because Congress failed to pass a funding bill before the deadline, leaving many agencies, unfunded and non-essential, workers either furloughed or working without pay. Lawmakers from both parties remain locked in a stalemate. Republicans and Democrats disagree on key funding priorities, border security, social programs, and how to reopen the government, federal employees and contractors. Hundreds of thousands of federal workers furloughed or working without pay. Contractors relying on government payments face delays, risk of layoffs. Social safety net and public programs. Food assistance under the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, halted in some states. Millions of Americans relying on these programs face immediate hardship. Early education programs, healthcare subsidies, and community services also in jeopardy because spending is paused. Travel. Business and economy air traffic controller shortages lead to flight delays, disruptions at major airports. ABC News economists estimate that the shutdown has already erased at least US $7 billion from the economy, and losses could climb to US $11-14 billion if it stretches longer. When the federal government is partially closed, certain discretionary spending is withheld. Contracts delayed, business confidence drops. Small businesses with government contractors face cash flow issues. One report cited tens of thousands of small businesses with billions at risk. Internationally, a prolonged shutdown signals instability. Other countries and markets watch U.S. fiscal behavior closely. Investor confidence can waver, consumer sentiment declines, and the knock-on effects may include slower hiring, weaker consumer spending, and a deeper economic ripple. The divide on Capitol Hill. Republicans emphasize border security, immigration costs. Democrats emphasize social safety nets, subsidies, education. The shutdown becomes a bargaining chip. Some lawmakers argue they won't be extorted into giving in. The pressure is increasing. With each day, the political cost rises. Public frustration, media scrutiny, and mounting human cost. A federal judge has ordered the administration to restore SNAP payments by a certain deadline, citing the urgency of public aid. If the shutdown crosses the current record, 35 days from 2018 to 19, then the U.S. enters uncharted territory. Potential escalation, further cuts in pay, more programs paused, layoffs of federal staff, private sector fallout. Economy-wise, consumer spending falls, business investment stalls, hiring slows, risk of tipping into a slowdown. On the humanitarian side, low-income households, children, and vulnerable communities bear the immediate brunt. Global implications, U.S. credit markets, currency strength, trade negotiations could all feel the reverberation. Imagine federal staff turning up to work without paycheck. Families worried about rent, groceries. Consider early education programs closing temporarily, children missing critical support services. Picture small business owners whose contracts were paused, laying off employees because of funding uncertainty. These are the unseen stories behind the statistics, the real cost of a funding stalemate. For Americans, your taxes fund these programs. When the government shuts, the impact trickles down to your community. For international viewers, U.S. stability matters globally. What the world's largest economy does echoes beyond its borders. For business watchers, uncertainty means risk, and risk means potential opportunity or disruption. For civic-minded people, budgeting, governance, and accountability matter, because when systems pause, lives do too. Monitor when the Senate reconvenes and if any funding bill is put up for vote. Keep an eye on SNAP updates, federal pay status, and contractor payment announcements. Watch economic indicators, consumer confidence, small business activity, hiring data. Follow any signals from the administration about negotiations, new proposals, or deadlines. Track the global markets and U.S. credit rating commentary. Longer shutdowns can affect perception of U.S. reliability. In short, the U.S. federal government is inching toward a record-breaking shutdown, and the longer it drags on, the deeper and broader the consequences. The cost is not just in billions of dollars, but in human lives, businesses, and the trust in institutions. For viewers, the message is clear. When government stops, real lives stop too. And watching this unfold is not just policy drama, it's unfolding reality. As lawmakers dare each other to blink and the clock keeps ticking, every day the shutdown stretches is one more day that families are waiting. Businesses are paused, and the world is watching. At this crossroads, one question remains. Will the U.S. avert a crisis or cross the line into a historic shutdown? For now, we watch, we wait, and we prepare. Because when the world's largest economy hits pause, the ripple effects spread wide.